Before you join, you need to see the whole picture. The company, the product, the compensation model. Because without the full picture, you are not making a decision. You are only guessing. But when you understand the system, the decision becomes clear. First, you understand. Then, you decide. Every model needs a foundation. Here, the foundation is built on companies and real business sectors. Construction, engineering, the medical sector. This is not a detail. This is the basis of trust. Before you look at the token, first look at what is behind the whole model. First, the foundation, then the product. Only then the compensation model. Now the physical product. Because a token alone is not enough to build trust. Trust is built when there is a real product, sales, and turnover behind the token. We have the construction sector. We have engineering structures. We have the medical sector. The logic is simple. Physical product, sales, margin, the source of value for the whole model. And this is the key. Don't ask first, how much can I get? First ask, where is the value in this model supposed to come from? Because where there is no source of value, there is no basis for trust. Now we move on to digital products. And here is one important thing. You are not buying the word token itself. You need to know which product you are choosing, where it sits in the system, and why it exists. Token win is the main reference point. Alongside it, there are other tokens, token way, token one, and token team. There are also higher entry levels, exclusive, silver, gold, platinum, and Everest. Drive token is a separate area of the ecosystem, so we are not looking at a single random token. We are looking at the entire structure of digital products. First, you see what exists. Then you understand how it works. Only then do you decide whether to start and where to start. Because an informed decision is not about someone telling you, join now. An informed decision means that you understand what you are joining. Now, Drive GPS. And this is not just about an app. It is about direction. Because the main Stark model is based on products, tokenization, and turnover. And Drive GPS shows an additional dimension of the ecosystem. The user uses the app. A daily habit is created. Drive Millas appear. Drive Club appears. And in the next stages, Drive Token. So we are not looking at just one product. We are looking at an ecosystem that may have more than one touch point with the user. And this is important because a strong project should not rely only on one element. It should have a product. It should have real usage. It should have activity. It should have repeatability. Drive GPS is not the main basis for the decision, but it shows one important thing. Stark is not built around just one token. Stark is building an ecosystem. This is not about someone simply saying token. This is about whether you can see the flow of value. First step, the investor buys a digital product, but the decision does not end with the purchase. Only then does the most important question come up. What happens next? The digital product should be connected to a model that supports production or turnover. Then comes the physical product, sales, margin, the financial result. And that is exactly what you are looking for. Not a promise, a mechanism. Because a token without a mechanism is just a name. A token connected to a product, sales, and turnover starts to make business sense. That is why this slide is so important. This is not magic. This is not a bank deposit. This is not a guarantee of profit. This is a question about the mechanism. Do you understand where the value in this model is supposed to come from? If you do not see this flow, you don't move forward. If you do see it, you start making an informed decision. In this model, there are two roles. Investor. An investor buys a digital product, tests the system, and does not have to sell. Partner. A partner shows the product to others, builds sales, builds a team, and can benefit from partner bonuses. The difference is simple. An investor tests the system for themselves. A partner builds the system with other people. You can choose one role or combine both. The most important thing is this: know why you are joining. If you choose the partner path, it is not enough to know that bonuses exist. You need to understand where they come from. Because a partner does not earn just for being a partner. A partner earns when there is activity, sales, sales volume, and structure. In this model, there are 4 mechanisms: direct bonus, binary bonus, unilevel bonus, residual bonus. Each one works differently. Each one comes from a different type of activity, and that is why they should not all be lumped together. The direct bonus reflects sales. The binary bonus reflects the development of 2 sides. The unilevel bonus reflects the referral line. The residual bonus reflects repeatability in an active structure. And this is where the real difference begins. One person simply buys a product. Another person starts building a business. They don't just invite, they sell. They build a team. They maintain activity. They develop a structure. That is why we are not looking at bonuses as slogans. We are looking at them as mechanisms. Because if you understand the mechanisms, you understand how a partner can build real results. The direct bonus is the simplest one. You show the product, they buy a product or a package. A bonus is generated. This is not a bonus for just having a conversation. It is a bonus for a real sale according to the compensation plan. The mechanism is simple: recommendation, purchase, bonus. And this is the first level of partner activity. First, sales, then compensation. The binary bonus works across 2 sides of the structure: the left side, the right side. But it is not just the number of people that matters. What matters is sales volume, points, and activity on both sides. In the binary system, balance is important. One strong side is not enough if the other side is not active. That is why a partner does not build at random. A partner builds 2 active sides. The detailed calculation is defined by the compensation plan. The unilevel bonus works through the referral line. U, level 1, level 2, level 3, and further levels. But the most important thing is this: not just the number of people, activity, purchases, sales volume. An empty structure does not generate results. An active line can generate results. You build the line. You drive activity. You maintain sales volume. And the model can reward activity across multiple levels according to the current compensation plan. The residual bonus is based on repeatability. It is not about one sale. It is about a structure that remains active. Partners take action. Sales volume is generated. Purchases are repeated. That is when a residual bonus may be generated. 3 elements matter most: an active structure, recurring sales volume, consistency. This is not compensation for simply getting started. It is the result of activity within the structure over time, according to the compensation plan. The partner career plan shows the development path. First, personal activity. Then, sales. Then, a team. Then, a structure. And only then, the next career levels. Advancement does not come from registration alone. It comes from action, sales, and the development of the structure. An observer watches. A partner takes action. And that is where a career begins, with action. Career levels show the scale of a partner's development, from 1 star to 6 stars. The higher the level, the greater the activity, the larger the structure, and the greater the responsibility. This is not just a title next to your name. It is the result of action. Advancement does not come from registration alone. It comes from sales, sales volume, and the development of the structure. First, activity, then results. Only then comes the career level. Now the technical part. What does the flow of funds look like? First, the token, then move exchange, then a swap or conversion. Next, USDC or USDT, then the wallet, and only after that, the withdrawal. Before making a decision, you need to know three things: KYC, fees, the withdrawal procedure. This slide shows the process, not a promise of profit. If you choose the partner path, you are not starting from zero. After registration, you get access to the group, materials, onboarding, and joint training sessions. You get presentations, a first steps plan, online meetings, challenges, and live group sessions. But support does not replace action. Materials and training will not build the structure for you. The team can help, but the decision is yours. In the end, one question remains. Do you keep watching, or do you take the first step? In the end, it is about the first step. You do not start with a complicated process. You start by registering. You click the link below the video. You create an account. You enter the dashboard. There, you learn about the product, the rules, and the whole model from the inside. If you want to work as a partner, you upload this video to your channel, add your own affiliate link, and invite more people. If you want to start with the product, you can start with a minimum of 100 USDT. First, registration, then the dashboard, then the first move. And only then do you decide whether you are just testing the system or whether you are ready to start building from there.